everybody, welcome to another night of Chess on Psychology. Hope you are having a great time. I apologize for this small delay. There was a small issue with Licha's study, so I had to make the little difference and transfer our games to Lita, to actual chess base. I've always been a chess base girl. I don't know why. Well, I mean, I know why. I started to really like Licha, so I've been doing it on Lichess as the past few months. I intend to go back on Lichess as soon as they've debugged it. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Let me make sure I have my chat ready from the iPad too, because I want to be able to talk to you guys to the best of my abilities. Little heads up as well. GMPG is having a little visitor behind the door. For those of you who are keeping score, now I am feeding 3 stray cats and a real cat and 2 possums. So it's like a weird party over here. It's like once I start feeding them, I can't stop. They keep coming back. They're so cute. I can't. It's just I can't. I can't not feed them. They're way too cute. I kind of started naming 1 or 2 of them too, but it's cute. They come back behind the window, they meow, I open the door, I feed them, they hang out, they meow for Peachy, Peachy meows for them. It's a whole situation. Yeah, so it's a lot of the cat stuff going on. So let's go ahead and get started. The first game that we are looking at is surprisingly not well, it is. It's a really good game. It was okay. To be honest, Jorden winning the Tata Steel was a huge surprise to me. I did not expect it. I did not have my money on him. Well, I didn't really bet on anybody about it, but just in the conversations, he was not expected to win. So it was a very, very interesting situation. I've known him since he was, I can't say Yeha because he was always taller, and I don't know what's with the Dutch. They're always so tall. We have two of the Dutch players on our team here in St. Louis University, and they're all so tall. I actually have to look up like that. My neck hurts. But yeah, Benjamin Buck and Robbie. Oh God, please let me pronounce this right. Kavlishvili. Hopefully I said it right. If not, he can tell me himself. But yeah, they're both super cute, super nice, but yeah, extremely tall. Like my neck hurts. I don't know what's in the Dutch water. But let's go ahead. So this is a game between Jorden, who, huge congratulations by the way. It's a huge honor. I can't even imagine what you feel. It's like huge congratulations to him. And this was a game that he played against Grandelius Nils, and it was a very good game. I really enjoyed it. So let's go ahead and get started. I am looking at the chat, so I see a lot of suggestions about having a cat gambit. Hey, no, Pisha gambits. Let's get our copyright straight. So okay, let's go ahead. The first game was, well, I intend to show 2. It might be a little different than intended. Okay. So I really like this game because I first of all play e4 as white, so I didn't have to go through all the hoops and trying to enjoy the position looking from like an opening that I don't play. I play this opening. I very much like this opening. And the fun part was this idea with queen d3, because I played this, I want to say 2015 a bunch. I still play this queen d3 with a different little different variation, especially with like bishops out already. But like this idea of queen d3 I play, and I absolutely love that Jorden played this. It was amazing. So alright, I want to take a little quick idea of what you guys think about. So what do you think? Like, how's this position gonna go? Is this gonna be one of those positions that white's gonna try and play the king side, queen side, center? Just like a super quick idea to just get a feeling on the position. I am Persian. Thank you for noticing. Yeah, you know, I've also noticed a lot of the people who guess I'm Middle Eastern or Persian have kind of go by the eyebrows. I don't know what is it, but I do get a lot of compliments on my eyebrows. very proud of them. Worked very hard on them. Yeah, gotta send some thanks to my parents for the eyebrows too. I wish I could say the same about Pishi. Pishi has literally like two hairs coming out of his eyebrows. Alright, so let's go. So what do you guys think? Alright, I see some questions about what is the idea with Queen D3. I agree, that's why I'm bringing it up, because I want to know what you think. So the thing with Queen D3 is that when I play it, a lot of the times this Queen on D3, it kind of depends on how opponent plays it, but could have a lot of benefits going on the king side. So that's one. Another one is that there is this like really cool ideas. Well, black didn't do this, but let's say if black played e5, you would do knight b3, let's say bishop out, you just get your bishops out, and now this is some type of positions that I play, or let's say castle, let's say you get your knight out, now there is this cool knight d5 idea, and you kind of have to take it, because if you don't, next c4, a4, a5, all of these are coming. And fun thing is you can't take it with the knight because now your bishop is kind of stuck. So you have to take it with the bishop. So white immediately gets the two bishop advantage. This bishop is super cool. There are a lot of pawn ideas coming up. So white's game is somewhat in the like both king side, queen side. Black ends up having some cool ideas in the king side as well, but it's like a whole different world. I have shown few games of mine in this. I intend to talk more about it next week. There are going to be some changes. Make sure to keep your eyes out on the schedule and the calendar. Uh-oh. We have a Romeo situation going on here with the cats. Anyways, so that's kind of one of the things to keep in mind about this type of Queen D3, but I agree, Queen D3 is kind of weird. In the game, Nils played knight D7. Jorden got his bishops out, and this b5 was a little too early. Again, this is all theory. There are different ways of playing this. There are different ways, trying to play it with e5, trying to play it with e6, getting your knight out and playing d5 first. So there are many different ways, but this b5, it's not exactly the first thing you think about when you're playing Queen d3. So, alright. I'm reading the chat. Alright, I think the cats are trying to have their own type of Valentine going on. Ah, makes more sense. That's why there's so many stray cats coming. Are these suitors for Pishi? But Pishi is male. So is Pishi in this situation being chased by all these cats? Wow. Huh. Never knew all these things. I'm kidding. Hopefully nobody is chasing my cat. I like my cats. Alright. So this idea with a4, let's try to get through the opening. It was a very beautiful game, and it wasn't actually that long. I intended to show another game. I think one of the games that Jorden played with Giri, one of them was they're all really great, but one of them was extremely long. And I did want to show that, but if I showed that, then I wouldn't have the chance to talk about any other game. And I don't know how up to date you guys are with the whole stuff in Tata Steel, but there was like a little drama going on, something about an arbiter, or like the rules that made Alireza distracted, and there were a lot of like little things. So I do want to talk a little about that too. So I want to get through this game so we can talk a little bit of gossips. My days are boring, all in library and just same studying and same food and same cat stuff, so I like gossiping. So let's go. Let's try to get through this so we get through a little bit of fun tournament gossip. Yes, a4 that is true. He wants to play. He wants you to push b4 because if you push b4, now I get to try, and this is a weakness. I can go around and start poking it, or as this was another game that I believe Monica Soko played. That's another idea to just try to develop on a different way as well, but just this is like a little nice idea to try and start poking at, or if you get the chance, play a5 and leave it isolated. So in the game, Nils played knight c5, which was a novelty, and it's been a while since I've analyzed this position to play as white, so this definitely is new to me, but it's good to know that this is like a real novelty, not just a novelty to my eyes. Queen e3 was played, which makes sense, right? You gotta try and defend your pawn, because, well, if you don't... Ideally, this queen wants to try and, whoops, not go there, try to be in the king side and not to block my own bishop. But the problem is the queen h3, well, he takes it, right? Queen g3, e4 falls, queen f3, their bishop b7s. I don't really want to have to deal with those. So it's too early to try and give black that much game. So there you have it. Also, let me relocate my T so I don't have to click back and forth like crazy. Alright, so knight c5, queen e3 makes sense. Not the exact ideal position for white's queen, but we'll get there. Yeah, b4, knight d5, take, and in this position, a5 was played. I was under the assumption that knight b4 was the way to go, but I can understand why this wouldn't exactly be as desirable, especially because now, well, you have the castle, and there's g6, and you're still like unsure what you want to do with this bishop. It leads to more complications. And I believe, Yaroslav, yes, you're correct. I've never really had bad experiences with arbiters or tournament directors. I mean, there were always minor hiccups, but nothing that I would be like, yeah, that tournament, this happened, that happened. But it was so funny because even like before I came to St. Louis, I remember this was like in 2015 because I was playing World Youth in Greece. There was like all these talks about how Wesley so wrote on his score sheet some like encouragement words, but that was against the rules, so he lost the game, which was by law within the arbiter's right. I was kind of funny because I used to do that. I used to like write a little encouragement things on my score sheets before the game, and it was funny because when I was in the World Youth Championship in Greece, the arbiter gave me like a mini warning, like, hey, by the way, you shouldn't do this. Remember that big case, how Wesley so lost? And I was like, yeah, okay. So yes, there are always going to be laws that we're just gonna like, what? But it's in life, so that's not just in chess. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue with our game, the winner of the tournament. I'm really loving this a5. It like makes both of these pawns super isolated, and the fun part about it is now black has a choice. You kind of have to take on d5, because if you don't, now this will fall, there are a bunch of knight b6 coming up, so you do have to take, and now that's the real problem for black, because white's queen is centered. Even though white has given up a pawn, it's not exactly ideal situation for black, because all these pawns are weak. White has a better space, better piece development. White's only one move away from castling. So black simply played e6. Bishop b7 was also desirable, but the main problem with bishop b7 was that it would make it more complicated. Castle queen c8, and now white's kind of just developing and getting the pieces out, when black is still trying to figure out, okay, what should I do with this bishop? How can I ever castle? And it's not exactly, I wouldn't want to play this position as black. It's too pressuring. Forcing rook line to create, and yeah, you're right. Yeah, trying to open up a little bit on the queen side and trying to poke around with the pawns is always fun. Now, question. Let's say we castle bishop d7. Now, how should white continue? I'm gonna give you guys about a minute because I really want to be able to get some of your ideas on how you think this position should continue. You know, white has a little bit better space, but a little bit better piece positioning. But the problem is that this position is so dynamic. It's not like you have to know what you're doing, and you can't just play like f4, f5. You have to actually know what you're doing. You can't just like. In Farsi, we have an expression for my Persian-speaking viewers, like "Dan play begiri dastat bodoi." Like, let me try to translate, which is like picking up a slipper and running. I don't know if that makes much sense to non-Farsi speakers, but yeah, that's something that I grew up with the expression that like if you want to attack but you don't really know how to and you just start attacking, that's like that expression of like picking up a slipper and running. The slipper is supposed to be used as a weapon, which I don't know how terrifying that is. It doesn't really scare me, but anyways, so let's see, there's some ideas. Oh, we can h4, bishop f3. My friends, you are a little too brave for my taste. And you are then simply to continue to develop. Just get your bishop out. What else are you going to do with this bishop? You gotta get it out. Bishop e7. Now the suggestion of bishop f3 that was. So let's see, bishop f3. Now you're just simply putting your pieces in better positions. It doesn't need to be such a big deal. So yes, you are also, to be fair, I've considered bishop d3 to be also quite interesting because you just kind of stop the ideas with castle. But it's not, I mean, you don't exactly stop it. Worst case scenario, there's always going to be like a knight f6, and then you would have to move this queen somewhere. Well, actually, queen h4, I don't really like it. Let's say you would have to move this queen somewhere. Oh, there's a queen b7. Interesting. And there's a rook b8 or queen b8. There's still a lot of stuff going on. But my point being, I thought bishop d3 was interesting, but Jorden played bishop f3 since he won the tournament. I can't really go against him. If he didn't win, I would definitely. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to talk about what the position needs. Alright, so bishop f3, black played castle. That was my tiny problem. That is why I wanted to play bishop d3. But Jorden had a different idea. He continued with the queen d3, following it by pushing this c pawn, which was super cool because I hadn't thought of it. c4, take, and then he took with the pawn, which was again quite interesting because you usually try to be like, yeah, I'm not gonna have an isolated pawn. And in this specific game, Jorden actually went for it, and he wanted to have that. And especially because there's still one less pawn on the board, I wasn't exactly sure what was going on. I know that white is still doing fine, but to what extent was the question? Yeah, Yaroslav, yes, that is highly likely. I am not gonna agree with that. So anyways, in the game black played rook a7. Honestly, I doubt that both players had already prepared to this extent. It is possible that they both knew like about the middle games of this. Hello, GMP sheep. Uh-oh, we got a cat coming. Incoming cat. I gotta move the microphone because the last time Pishi brushed against the microphone, I believe one of our moderators had ear issues going on for a while. Kitty. Alright, you gotta go back. Alright, good boy. So, I managed to not hurt people's ears. Yay. Yes, I got Pishi. He actually jumped up there, surprisingly. There was a suggestion of bishop f6, which I do agree. Bishop f6 is quite interesting. It makes black's pieces look just a tiny bit better. Alright, let me move the microphone back where it was. Hopefully I did not touch it in a hurtful way. Put that c3 pawn. Yeah, I agree. That c3 pawn can be extremely useful, but it's also a little, yes, exactly. It also gives some weaknesses vibes, but I guess that's the price we have to pay. If we want to have piece activity, if we want to have open rooks, we have to have some little weaknesses. Now, quick question, guys. Let's say now we played this c4, You moved your knight. Now, white to do what? White to move what to do. It's a very beautiful move. Do I think it's beneficial to play against the computer continuously? Depends, because I have some students who love playing against computer, but the problem is that they don't choose their own level. They like to win, so they choose like lower levels, and I don't agree with that. That's just like I don't like how some of the computer bots don't take. Like you take their piece and they just look at you, they move something else. I'm like, no, take. Everybody takes back. So yeah. No, like I like winning, but I feel like the winning should be something a little bit more than just winning. I want to learn something. I don't want to blunder all the time and know that my opponent's not going to take. That's not real. All right. Bonora chess. Good job, thank you. And I know that some of you might have seen this, some of you might not have. If you have seen it, feel free to TA the class for me. I love that. If you have not seen it, however, and you consider the move knight b5, that is going to be like a wow, because when I was looking at this, I thought, man, it would be nice if I had knight b5. Maybe I should play like a bishop e3 to prepare for it, but Jordan knows best. Well, in this game, let's go with that. And he went for knight b5, and I was just like, woo. So take, and now Black realized that these two pawns are very monstrous when you pair them up with this bishop and the other bishop coming up. And if white gets some b6, some a6, those pawns are pretty unstoppable. There's a nice song that Sia had, Unstoppable. I've been listening to way too much music when I study. Anyways, so black took bishop takes b5. We gotta take that back. Now bishop e3 is coming up too. So how can black stop bishop e3? What happens if black didn't accept the sacrifice? Well, it wasn't exactly a sacrifice, more as like more of an exchange. Like I give my knight for this pawn and this bishop, and you take my knight and this pawn. Because if you didn't accept it, the rook is falling, so you kind of have to take it. Oh, Paul, that's so amazing. Yeah. No, I believe, no, we have 2 Dutch in our team here in St. Louis University. We need a 3rd one. I don't know how to translate that expression. If there are any Farsi speakers here and you want to help me translate Tase nashe, bazi nashe, please help me, because I tried to explain that to another friend of mine recently and I just failed. And it was just like super weird to try and explain that. So, yes. You see, this knight is very crucial in the sense that this knight needs to come covered up a little bit in the queen side. So knight d7 and boom, bishop b7. Queen has to move. Queen c7 was a better choice, but queen d8 is also doable. You gotta move something with your queen. So queen d8, boom, a6. Now, what is the idea? We are simply trying to play a quick, cute little bishop a5, cute little bishop e3, try to eat this rook sooner or later. Now, black played bishop f6, boom, bishop a5. Now you gotta move the queen, bishop c7. This position is just so beautiful. And the idea of bishop c7, like this bishop is staring at your rook, and all you're saying is, nah, man, I don't need this rook, come take it. And bishop a1 was actually the best move. There's not much else for black to do. And the fun thing is, like, this rook is just like acting like a pawn, just stopping this pawn. It is so weird. I really do like this this game. It's one of the most beautiful ones I've seen so far. Yes. So in the game, black played d5. To be fair, d5 was a bad move. The best move was knight c5, which would try to cover up a little, but maybe get some queens to exchange, try to eat some of these pieces, try to make it a little bit more hard for white to just come and have an easy game. So now, can you guys tell me why d5 is a bad move? Oops. That is a huge mug, I agree. You see, the problem is that yesterday I didn't finish the things I wanted to study. So I was doing flashcards in bed from like 2 to 4. I managed to do like about 300 of it, but that also meant that I slept at 4:30. So, and I had to be up at 9:30 for my pharmacology class. So yeah, I need a big mug. I like it because it's all golden. I initially got this one as like a present for my mom because it was like such a cool mug, and my mom is a huge coffee / tea drinker. She. He's being all playful. Alright, I see some really cool ideas are coming in. Bishop d6 it is. Good job, you guys. Bishop d6, simple. I'm gonna poke your bishop. I'm gonna poke your rook, as well as I'm just opening up my bishop. Nothing wrong with that. Trying to just put more pressure on you. A lot of the time, pressure is an amazing thing. You don't necessarily need to actually find a checkmate, but a lot of the times, just pressure and threatening is extremely strong. So in the game, black played queen d8. Now, simply rook c1. I just want to take over here, go play rook c8, and this is gonna be fun. So in the game, black made another mistake and played g6. The better move would have been rook e8, just try to avoid rook c8. And if you played like rook c7, now knight b8, I understand this is a quite a sad and just oh my god, I don't want to even look at this position for black. Let's take a quick look. Oh my god, look how black is just like all tied up in one side, and when you flip it back to looking at this position from white, it's like so much space. I know, Pishi, I agree with you. So much space. So yes. Now let's get back to position. Now let's say black played this g6, which was a mistake. Now what would you do? Is it time to try and eat over here? Should we try to get some action going on in any time? Yeah, I also have cat hairs all over my face because I was in the library right before I came back to my room, like 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes before the stream. And as soon as I came back, Pishi was meowing and he needed a hug because I was out for 5 whole hours. Oh my god. So when I hugged him, I have cat hairs all over my face, which does not help it because, yeah, cat hairs doesn't really go well with eyes and ears. Well, actually, ears should be fine. Eyes and nose. So okay, Yaroslav, interesting. You see that queen g5 could be a potential issue, so you go for h3. Good, I love it. Yeah, this rook isn't going anywhere. And well, to be fair, taking is completely possible. But my issue is that, well, first of all, this queen g5s don't really exactly work. But my issue is a little bit more with, well, then what? It's possible, nothing against it. But I don't exactly like having to deal with, let's say, knight takes f8, rook c8, and now let's say, can I just go to maybe g5? No, let's go to f6, yeah. Try to go over here. Yeah, and not exactly, I don't want to give black hopes. I want black to stay all tied up. So white plays h3, awesome. Rook e8, boom, rook c7. This was such a cool idea. Now, black made another mistake, or maybe more of an inaccuracy, and he played knight f6. And knight b8 was supposedly a little bit better. Now, if rook c8, now take, and white could still have some trouble winning this. Not that it's going to be too hard, but at least black has a better fight going on. I guess we could actually take it over here now. Maybe Rook A. Oh, wait. Why am I playing Rook A6? Take. Yeah, I mean, it could put up some more pressure, but anyways, this position feels too hopeless. H3 is like just a good idea to try and prevent. Whoa, hello, Pishi. Any ideas that? It's coming from the microphone. Kitty, she is being hyper. All right. Where was I? Yes, talking about the difference between H3 and Rook C7 first. Honestly, H3 just makes a little bit more sense because ideally, if your opponent allowed you, you want to be able to play Rook C8. You want to take on F8, play Rook C8. So, no, Pishi is a little too happy that I'm home. He's so cute in the sense that whenever I come back from outside, anytime more than like 10 minutes of me being outside, I come back, he comes greeting me, meow, where have you been? Why are you so late? I've been alone all day. And he has food and water and everything, but he still meows and comes to greet me. It's super cute. Why Rook C7 was better than Rook C8? Well, in this specific position it is because Rook E8 was played. If there was no Rook E8, believe me, we would take it as over here and then play Rook C8. So... Ray Lopez, I have no children at the moment or for foreseeable future. The best I can do right now is a cat. The fluffier the better. Yes, so alright. I'm glad everybody agrees on how cute Pishi is. Now, Rook E8, we talked about Rook C7 and we also mentioned the idea with Knight F6. Now, quick question. What should we do? Again, you know that white is much better and you know how beautifully this position is organized, and all you have to do is try and, well, not mess it up. So how can you do that? What was the question? White to move, what to do? Careful, this Queen D6 exists. Let me make sure I am... Yeah. Still online, still going on. Yeah, cats are great. They're also quite distractive. They're so cute. Can distract you with their cuteness. Okay, good. Thank you. Bishop E5 it is. I saw other suggestions, but Bishop E5 is the most logical one. Simply, I just want to eat on F6, eat on E8, a lot of eatings. Black played Knight E4, boom, Queen C6. And next move, let's just... Rook D7 also looks pretty cool. Whoa, Rook C8 looks pretty cool. Let's see, what else looks pretty cool? Well, I could even consider something with Bishop D4 to eat your rook. So there's so many different options. I like Queen C6 because, you see, the Queen C6, your queen right now could be improved. So let's improve it. You get this rook all hyped up. In the game, Black played Rook F8, which I believe was to avoid this idea with Rook C8, because if you played Rook C8, now this guy is a little in a pickle. So, Rook F8, Bishop D4, as I was previously mentioning on some of the ideas that Queen C6 could help with. Black played Queen B8. Now, white to move what to... This was also... this to me was like a weird move, because I know I'm better. Well, I know as white I'm better, but I didn't exactly know what move to play. guys. We can do better. Whoa, nice. F3. Great job, everybody. So after F3, black takes rook takes A6. Now let's see, what should we do? Should we take this with the bishop? Should we take it with the queen? Any differences? Oh, Alicia's studies is still down. I tried. I really did want to make a transition to Lichess, but... So to be fair, bishop a7 is possible, but if bishop a7, queen a7, how do you plan to get this queen away? And also keep in mind this f2 is weak. So we might have to like come back to defend your f2. It's not gonna be, it kind of messes with your harmony. So f3, rook a6. All right, let's take exactly. Thank you, Yaroslav. Bishop a6, because if queen a6, queen c7, and your advantage is going bye-bye. Actually, black had advantage in that position. So bishop a6, black played queen b4. Now, keep in mind, you still have more material, but you still have to be quite careful on how you play the next moves. So white to move. How do you intend to continue? I guess the main question is, should we take this knight or should we come up with a little smarter idea? Bishop e5, good job, thank you, Yaroslav. This is possible, it's just a little weaker because if queen d4 and then there's another check, and yeah, you don't want to have to deal with that. I mean, I guess there are ways to try and play king h1, but this also brings up the other issue of queen a1, because if queen c1, boom. If king h2, again check. So not much way to run away from. So let's just play our bishop e5. You give me check, king h2. You're out of checks, my friend. Knight f2, you want to go queen h1. How should we continue? How can we try to eliminate some of what black is trying to do? Uh-oh, GMP, she's grooming. So a lot of the things in this Tata Steel tournament was really great because first of all there were so many younger players, which made the tournament even more interesting because not many of these young players get the chance to play the big boys. So that was pretty cool. I didn't particularly enjoy some of the games, but I'm not the biggest fan of draws, but I can't help it. No one can. So a lot of the times, if the both players play good, the game is going to be a draw. Nothing wrong with that, just doesn't make me particularly happy. But, whoa, careful, bishop g3, that's going to be a fun checkmate for him. So let's bring queen c3. We have extra material, so let's try to exchange some of it off. If we don't, we can also consider trying to like bishop h8 and like queen g7. In the game, black played check and then queen g1, trying to create more checks. Now, what should we do? Wait. Yaroslav, you've seen this game. Wait. No, I thought you were finding the moves from heart. I was so proud. It's okay. When you love chess too much, you will be. There will be a lot of games that you've already seen. So, ay. Queen c1. I think we should go for something a little bit more spicy. Bishop h8 is interesting, but keep in mind this check is coming up. It's not going to bother us too much because we still have king h4, but let's try to have like something with a threat. No, PT. this idea of Rook C8. Just keeps things simple. I wanted to give you checkmate. Check, king up, check, G3. You're done checking me, my friend. Well, actually, there's one more check. And then there's one more check. And it was kind of interesting because the king got to go all the way up. I love this game. So in the game, White had to deal with f takes e5. Now, how do we continue after f takes e5? Keep in mind this king is super weak, and all we need to win it is just a little bit more checks. How do we get the job done? Are there some sound issues? Because if there are, please let me know. GMPC is grooming himself. Queen c7? Possibly, but queen e5 makes the most sense. I'm just going after one check here, two check here, maybe a three check here, bunch of different checkmates. Queen e5. Good job, everybody. And actually, Nils resigned in this position, so that was a pretty cool game. I thought this was Jordan's best game in this tournament. If I had to pick a best game of the tournament, this would probably be it. There were many other great games too, but come on, there's a king on h6. So if I had to choose, this would at least be on top 3. Might be a very close call, but there were some of the games that had so many great potentials, but people just didn't find them. But anyways, this was a great game. Alright. Yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this game. Huge congratulations to Jorden. Let's go ahead. Oh, hold on. I have to reload the next one. There was another game that I absolutely enjoyed too, but I won't be having enough time to show it, unfortunately. I do intend to talk more about some of these games on our future classes too. I need a second to switch the board. Oh, it didn't change it much. Yay. Alright, so this was another amazing game of the tournament. This game was played between Alireza and Wojtaszek. And I believe this was in one of the playoffs. The rules confused me a little bit, so if any of you are more confident on exactly what happened on the rules and what went wrong, please feel free to enlighten the chat, because I read through it, I watched some of the videos on it, but I'm still confused. So this is like a position that I wanted to show because I thought this was a pretty cool position. So this is after 6 moves. So I want to get a quick evaluation on what do you guys think about this position. I'll give you a little heads up that White, it's tiny bit better, but there isn't much to do. But like, I want an actual evaluation. I don't want just who's better. I want why of it. Whose king is better, whose center is better, whose pieces are better, who has more stuff going on. There were some issues on this. There were some little gossips. Well, not gossips. I call them gossips because to me they're gossips, but they're quite painful for the players. So there were like a thing about the tiebreak because the players had to play. It was like too many of them that had the same score, so they had to play each other, and the winner of those would would be the winner. But the problem was that when Alireza was playing Wojtaszek and Jorden was playing Giri, well, Jorden was kind of clear. His tiebreak was better, but this was a kind of crucial game for Alireza because he's yeah. Oh, thank you for the Farsi explanation too. So yeah, apparently there was like they wanted to. There was like a thing about changing the table, which I it doesn't make that much sense to me on like why the organizers were hoping that this would be like a brilliant idea. But again, in a high tension, it's a little weird to try. And yeah, there was a yes, thank you. Yeah, I see the chat is making more statements and much better than I am doing. So yes, yeah, yes, exactly. So let me try to translate that. Apparently, there was a lot of noise, so there's a requested that they would be that the requested that there would be silence because he wants to play. And he did have advantage in this game. That was the crucial game. And then they, as a result of his complaint of hey, there's too much noise, they told him to change the table, which is I mean, I've done that before in some tournaments, but not exactly my favorite thing to do when you're playing chess and when you're all focused. I don't even want my cat in the room. So, alright, yes, back to the chess of it. I see that you guys agree why it's a little bit better. And I also see that there's some ideas with bishop h5 checks, there's some ideas with... Okay, I agree, yes. So white is a tiny bit better, I agree, but black still has lots of game going on. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit to just a few moves. King f7, getting the center, and this was another position that I wanted to talk about. Now what do you think white should do? White has these two bishops, white has the central pawns, white has a little bit better piece developments, but how should we continue? Ray Lopez, that's not a very common thing to do. There on specific circumstances that is possible. Yes, I agree, Fragrance. That does cause disturbance, and I also saw that there was an official like letter of apology from the organizers to I don't know if those exact organizers, but from because of that situation to Alireza, they officially apologized to him for causing the disruption. But yeah, so I thought that was a pretty cool gossip, not for Alireza or anyone involved in that situation, but for a observer, and for me to talk about it later and tell my friends about it. Hey guys, this crazy thing happened in the chess world. I like that idea. I don't really get too many crazy things happening in chess world that I can tell my friends about, so school friends about. Yes, exquisite. I hear you. Alright. So after Rook D8, I see. Alright, so I see some of you might have seen these games. If not, nothing wrong with it. You can always go back and look at them. There are on the official websites, they're on chess.com, chess.base, chess24. You say chess, they're gonna have analysis of these games. That's why I don't intend to spend too much time on this tournament because everybody in the chess world is analyzing it. But I do pick some of my favorites and I do talk about them. So Ray Lopez is saying why should exchange the white bishop? Yep. Yaroslav, I agree. Yes, I do like to make all of my non-chess friends go, whoa, chess world is wild. So, what are the weak points of black here? Well, I would say this bishop isn't doing that pretty. This knight is looking good, but I don't know how useful this will be in the long run. The main problem that black has is what is supposed to do in future. There could be some ideas with like trying to play c5, but the white has two bishops, so that might even end up helping white. So in the game, white played h4. Those of you who suggested the move h4 were correct. That's funny, PT. Black knight looks silly. I kind of agree. I mean, it's a nice looking knight, but I don't know what he wants to do to it. So after h4, b6, bishop e2 was played, which I found quite interesting because you're simply trying to figure out where to put this bishop. But again, to be fair, the time control of this game was not exactly the way that one would try to, do his best to win. Well, let me rephrase that. Do the most precise moves to win. Thank you. Whew. Thank you, Discovery. Super nice of you. Alright, so I want to get to that cool endgame position, so I'm gonna skip through a few moves. White is simply developing and trying to find the best way to poke around some of these weaknesses. I found the h5 move a little weird, but I am not exactly sure. Like, I wish I had a knight to put somewhere on g6, but I understand the idea of h5. Like, you're simply trying to bring more pressure, bring more issues. Alright, so in this position, black simply played queen e7. I'm gonna scroll through a little bit because these are just normal moves, development, getting my pieces into better places, poking around a little, eating some pawns, doing a little sacrificial. But the position that I want to get at is about 10 moves away from this position. So I'm gonna take another quick break and ask you guys, what should we do? So just as an evaluation, we're not trying to find the best moves because we don't have the time for it. Also, as long as we know how is the position and what are we playing for and which side are we playing, and as long as we have a feeling for the position, it's easier to find the moves. So what do you think white should do? Okay, thank you, I'm Manny. That was fast. Yeah, well, the easiest way is, what does my opponent want? My pawn? Yeah, no, you ain't eating my pawn. So just b3, rook c7. Now opponent's trying to create some funny stuff on c-file. Bye-bye, I'm not gonna let you do that. Rook c6. Now again, bishop e2. This bishop e2 was played again and again, so it's a little funny for me. I agree, white is a tad bit better. Its dynamic equality I think white's better. Because, you see, there is one bishop and two pawns in exchange for a rook, but these are two bishops, and these two bishops are just monsters. Look, the rook moves, bam, I come again, attack the other one. It's like the attack never ends. In the game, black simply played king h8, and white was super chill. Rook f1, just gonna develop, make my rook in a better position. I'm just gonna keep my king in a better position. I thought king h2 was worth noticing as well, but nothing wrong with king g2. Rook d7, boom, rook f2, just waiting to see what you want to play. And again, there were a lot of instances that white could have played better, black could have been more accurate, but it doesn't mean that they're not good moves. It's just, I don't necessarily love the idea of rook e2, but I understand it. There's pressure on e4, I want to defend it. Why not take e6? I want to, but there's a bishop here. Oh, why not take e6 right away here? Well, if you took on e6, what if take on g3? That's a little concerning. Could be interesting. Could just be king h1 and nothing else comes out of it too. But the thing is, like, you can't really take this guy because your e1 falls. If we want to be more precise, we can also think about kind of like the idea of rook e8. The bishop d5, now just can't really do this bishop e4 anymore. Oh wait, actually, thank you, Merdad, for the donation. Super nice of you. No, I think the biggest thing about not playing bishop e6 is that the time control of this game, because I believe it was an Armageddon, you can't just do whatever you want. You actually have to be very smart about it. You can't just take left and right. You have to see, does this give my opponent this opportunity? Because if it gives opportunity, then we probably should not. So bishop e6 is worth considering, I agree, but so is rook f1. Rook f1 just keeps things a little bit more together. So, alright, let's say we got to this rook e2. Alright, this, nope, here. Yes, sorry. A little bit longer, I apologize. Where is my endgame? It's about 4 more moves away. I should have started from there. Man. Okay, so this was the position I wanted to mention another point. So in the game, white made a small inaccuracy of playing queen g4 when the move d5 would have been the best, because if take, and that these two bishops are going to be big monsters. Ooh, hello king, d6 coming up, queen h6 is another threat. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Alireza played queen to g4, followed by bishop c3. Again, you see a lot of these moves are just waiting moves, waiting to see where will my opponent mess up. After queen c6, bishop a5. Now white has clear advantage. These two pawns are going to be baby queens as well. And in the game, in this position was another part that was super cool. Okay, I'm gonna take a second and ask you guys, what do you think white should do in this position? There are like 3 or 4 more moves left, actually. Yeah, 3 or 4 more moves left on the position, so let's try our best. What do you think white should do? Keep in mind that they're both in time trouble. Keep in mind that this is one of those games that you need to win as white. I see bishop c3, push pawn on d5. I see these ideas. Bishops, again, another bishop c3. Interesting. Offer psychological draw. Hey, we need to win it. So the fun part is that, well, white could have simply played king h3 and hold a huge advantage. It's so crazy. I know. It's just the king is so safe up here. Nothing is attacking it. Nothing is checking it. It was so funny. And I know it's really hard to see it. So if you didn't find it, don't beat yourself up. In the game, Alireza played queen g3. And after queen takes d4, bishop c3. Now, queen d1 was played, which was a mistake. And this is where Alireza missed the win. What do you think he should have done? That's our last question of the day. After that, I will be showing how the game ended, which is like 2 more moves left. Okay, 3. But yeah, so what do you think? What do you think is white's best move? Trapping the queen. That would be fun, I agree. But you won't be trapping the queen. That's what Alireza played, rook d2. It's the natural move, Alireza played it, and it was wrong. Nope, nobody's saying it. Wow. I'll give you guys maybe 30 more seconds. Nope, not queen e5. Queen e5 is interesting, but nope. I like the idea of queen f4, trying to go for queen h6. But all of these have a simple problem. Black can still play pawn to e5. And pawn to e5 kind of kills a lot of white's ideas. So yes, David, bishop e5. Thank you. That's rook d2 is what Alireza played. Bishop e5 is what he should have played. Now if rook c8, not even queen e1 works. This bishop is just a tall pawn crying over here. In in the game, Alireza played rook d2, queen b1, queen f4. Now this has a strong threat. Rook d2, rook b2 coming up, queen h6 coming up. A lot of different ways of winning. And white, unfortunately, kind of, I think, missed this idea with e5, because after take and take, they agreed to a draw. Especially because, well, if he didn't take it, and if he played bishop takes b8, rook goes to f7. You move the queen, bam, I take it over here. Bishop f4, you lose all of your pawns, you lose all of your advantage, because those were your mini baby queens. So that would be just like a tad bit better for white, but it's quite hopeless to try and win this. Why is bishop e5 better than queen e5? Well, bishop e5 stops all the e5s. If you were to play queen to e5, let's see, what is your threat? Are you trying to play queen to g7? Because you can't really do that. My bishop is still right here. What would you do if, let's say, rook goes to f8 and I want to start giving you this fun checks? The problem is you don't really have rook d2 anymore, because now g4 falls too. Queen e5 doesn't really have any threat. That's the problem. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know I went a little over time because Dennis is supposed to be starting 2 minutes ago, so I apologize for that. It was fun. And yes, this was one of those games that we never know if there was absolute silence, would Alireza would have won. But I believe that the ultimate point was, even if he won, he would have less tiebreak points compared to Jorden. So I don't know ultimately how much difference would have it made, but it was kind of one of those funny things that you never think happens in super tournaments, but when it does, you get to talk about it, tell your friends about it, make the chess world sound super cool and all crazy and wild. And yeah, well, I hope you guys like this game. Please feel free to hang around and enjoy your lesson with Dennis. He is an amazing teacher, super sweet, always smiling. He doesn't have a cat though, to my knowledge. Dennis, get a cat. But besides that, I will see you guys Friday on Twitch for our usual Friday 5 to 7 Central Time. A little bit of endgame, a little bit of tactics, and with that, I will say goodbye to you.